Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. What a crazy few days it's been here in the competitive Call of Duty community. The matches are back underway here at the Los Angeles home series to finish off Stage 4. Very interesting storylines not only in the matches themselves, but also what was going on in the CDL chat. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, just wanted to mention this that OpTic talk about, the fact that it's only 10 days away as when they recorded this, that we're back to LAN right officially on the 17th, I believe, just 7 days from now. LAN is officially back in action here for the Stage 4 Major, but OpTic don't exactly find themselves in their best position after today. Los Angeles Thieves say this home series apparel available right now. It of course gets underway, and Los Angeles Thieves massively been in the news these last couple of days, and well, a perfect time really to have some absolute more chaos drop onto the timeline with some of these matches that we saw. Of course, we had that crazy flank that we talked about earlier today. Zuma says, look, it's not stopping, we'll continue doing the show, but I'm going to take a break from it today. So yeah, of course, last night and earlier today we talked about the fact that, okay, this whole Huke stuff has come out over the last 24 hours, and well, the reaction from the CDL has been the big question mark regarding the whole situation. What will the CDL do about this? Will they come up with a response? Clearly they've been trying to take some significant damage control actions here. We're trying to shut down the flank, right, because I guess Zoom is associated with the subliners. They tried to go down that route, and well, as a result, the community are not particularly happy about it. The fact that, well, it seems like the CDL are papering over these cracks, the significant problems that exist within the scene that, well, Huke is effectively exposing, that the CDL is effectively trying to shut down conversation of. Octane says, can't wait to see what the YouTube chat looks like later today. This was indeed what it looked like. You've got the pills in there, you've got free the flank, you know, hashtag Zoom Mafia, free Benjay Nassim. I think aBeZy or whatever was going on in the chat as well. This comes out from the flank message deleted. That was all we pretty much saw. Pretty crazy to see, to be honest. This other was kind of funny as well from Andrew also. The fact that you know, there's some doing some fast deleting, right? Maybe they're on something additional to just, well, just some caffeine, I suppose. And well, this comes out from Kevy Skills a little bit later. Message deleted all across the board. It started off being pretty tame, the fact that the moderators weren't deleting everything. Then down the line, everything was just getting axed. It was pretty crazy to see. And I mean, no, it doesn't necessarily send the best look from a number of different directions right here. Not the greatest look for the CDL, most certainly. I imagine maybe some of you guys got banned in the chat or something if you said something slightly out of line. Let's talk about the matches then for today. First of all, this from Octane, right? Because it's Toronto versus Los Angeles Guerrillas. This game one was kind of ridiculous. Toronto won it convincingly on Garrison Hardpoint, like 250 to 130. Completely blew them out the park, but only outslayed them by like 10 kills. Shows the fundamentals are certainly there for Toronto Ultra. And I mean, LAG, like a lot of the time, they're just playing for kills, it seems like. I don't really know. Doesn't seem like they're often actually trying to win these games. And they're honestly one of the more, well, embarrassing teams, I suppose, right? If you're LAG right now, you haven't changed for ages, yet you're still pretty awful. And at least Seattle Surge actually did something today for, well, first time in a very long time. And well, Toronto got up 2-0 in dominant fashion, to be honest. Well, it wasn't too dominant, but yeah, it honestly looked like they were never in doubt this series. Ultra has been looking so good as of late. They complete the 3-0 sweep over the Toronto Ultra in a, well, pretty impressive fashion. Inside has a phenomenal control right here. The streaks raining down hell from above here on raids. And well, Los Angeles Guerrillas fall another series 3-0, but falling to Toronto Ultra in a 3-0 fashion is pretty irregular occurrence as of late, right? Given, well, they lost their first series of the stage to Florida Mutineers, then since then they've lost a single map, which is pretty crazy to see, and that secures them at the winner's bracket for the major. So Los Angeles Guerrillas obviously fall short again. Toronto Ultra looking very good as of late, and of course they play up against New York on Sunday. That is going to be pretty important stuff in terms of the seeding going into the major in a LAN environment. Toronto haven't lost a map since Florida defeated them, and LAG now 0-4 in this stage scoreboard wise. Thought this was kind of crazy, the well, the consistency in terms of the kills from Toronto Ultra. This is exactly what I want to see if I'm Mark UB coaching this team. Insight with 57 kills with a 1.4 KD, and then CleanX, my most aggressive SMG player, also with the same amount of kills, but pretty much the same amount of deaths, putting on a great deal more pressure on the map in terms of those high engagements. So beautiful stuff, I'm sure, for Mark UB to look at. On the other side, not pretty for Los Angeles Guerrillas. As Chrome says, message deleted all across the board. That really was one of the big storylines for the day. Before then, we get into the final series of action, which was OpTic Chicago versus Seattle Surge. Very interesting to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. Big implications from this. I honestly thought maybe we'd get a relatively quiet day of matches. Not too much to talk about given how much there's been these last couple of days, but certainly some things come out as a result of this one. Game number one, I mean, before we even get into it, this comes out from Crone. Longest losing streaks in the CDL. 2020, it was Rokkr. Seattle Surge have, since April the 9th, 2021, have not won a series. That's 10 series on the bounce defeats that they have had. However, today, up against OpTic, it was a slightly different affair. This game one was very interesting. We see OpTic go back to this raid hardpoint. They haven't played it in quite a while. I'm pretty sure they lost to Seattle on this map earlier in the season. Of course, course, different roster that Seattle had at the time. But again, it's a very close hardpoint here, and Seattle Surge tend to be very good at getting to 200 points in hardpoint, and then could just never get over line. But OpTic also are somewhat questionable at closing out some of these close games. So it was actually Gunless who went on a crazy streak at the end right here. You can see he gets 5 in a row, then he, well, takes down the 6th. Nice little 3-piece for him. Makes a crazy flank, to be honest, when Seattle managed to set up the pinch, and really back and forth game. OpTic, well, they can't quite get over line right, and Seattle play well, to be fair, this entire series, but some individual players really stepped up when it mattered. At the same time, on the OpTic side, this was a big series for them, and coming in here and demolishing Seattle is what you would expect a lot of the top teams to do. That is not what exactly occurred today. However, going into the game 2, I don't think OpTic would have been too worried looking at the rest of these stats, right? Yes, Seattle Surge in stage 4 have only won hardpoint, right? They hadn't won a single Surge, they hadn't won a single control coming into the series. It continues along those lines. This game 2 was kind of crazy, right? I mean, OpTic go up 5-0 here on the Moscow Search and Destroy. Then it gets somewhat dicey. A few rounds go the other way. You see the OpTic guys actually at the end of this, at least on the cams. You can't see it quite here, but they were kind of laughing, chuckling to themselves, saying, wow, they got a little bit too close for comfort. They do close out the game and head themselves to a checkmate control. As Gibby Skill says right here, another one for the end of year stuck montage. Seth stays at being a magnet. He always gets stuck by these Semtex grenades. I cannot believe how many times it happens. I'm pretty sure it happened again right here as well. And well, they find themselves in a really tough spot, right? Checkmate control has been a pretty good map for OpTic, to be honest, so far. And I mean, Seattle Surge have not won a control since they last won a series, which was April the 9th. They've won a control in 2 months, which is, well, first of all, pretty outrageous. They also hadn't won a checkmate control this entire year. How, ridiculous of a stat is that? The season's been around for, 6 months or so at this point, right? It started at the end of January, at least the preseason stuff. They hadn't won a checkmate control all season, but this is where they closed it out. On OpTic, right, these last few days, these last few series, they lost a control to Paris, and I was kind of talking at the time that was maybe somewhat concerning for them. They control, you want to be able to close out series. I mean, a lot of the top teams, when they go up 2-0, they close out 3-0 without too many difficulties, right? We've seen that with FaZe do that so many times. We've seen Toronto Ultra do that to late as of late to great effect. However, OpTic couldn't get it done against Paris Legion. They, of course, did out winning 3-1. And against FaZe the other day, they also got molly-whopped in the control. And losing this to Seattle, I mean, an absolutely woeful control team, was not the greatest sign by any means. Seattle Surge snap the 10-game control losing spree. And as Round 11 stat says right here, Seattle Surge just won their first checkmate control of the entire season. Then we go into a checkmate hardpoint. This was an absolute banger. Honestly, like, checkmate hardpoint, a lot of people say, things to and fro about checkmate. Obviously, Search and Destroy isn't great, and well, it's now been removed. Control, I also don't think is particularly great at all, but for hardpoint, honestly, it does produce some incredible games. This early on, Seattle are big. It was kind of a carbon copy, if anything, of game 1, to some degree at the very least, where, okay, Seattle went up to some degree of an advantage, then OpTic make this crazy comeback towards the end. Dashy goes absolutely off in this game for 37 in 21. He finishes off right here, absolutely just like getting 2 pieces left, right, and center, doing everything that was required. And well, Seattle choke a pretty crucial moment, right? This is what they've been doing for these last several series. They get close, then they just about fall short, and of course, OpTic take us to a game 5. However, it does not go as maybe we were expecting it to. See these stats right here? I think Evan said on the Reddit the fact that it's like a stoppable force versus a very movable object in these game 5 situations, and Seattle Surge have a nice advantage early on. They go up 2-0, but then there's a technical difficulty. Dashy, his gamer, lags out or something like that. He crashes out of the game, and they can't get him back in. The timeout feature is activated, but it takes too long to get the situation resolved. Therefore, they just completely restart the game. Really frustrating to me. They can't overlay the numbers on top of the numbers at the top. They have to put it on the thing at the side. That seems like such a basic thing that even an amateur, I'm pretty sure the college COD stream manages to do that more successfully than the CDL can. But whatever. It goes up 2-0 our Seattle Surge. And if I was Seattle, I'd be kind of frustrated at that point. I was wondering if their momentum was going to be shocked by this to some degree, or at least they were going to get slowed down, right? Because you go into a situation like that, you're up in a great position, you've got maybe streaks on the horizon, you're looking really good, you're firing on all cylinders as a team, and you're getting back into things, right? And Raid Search and Destroy has been, I don't know, as of late, they've been pretty bad on out of Seattle, but early season they were relatively solid, and Prestinni certainly had his moments as well. But it was Octane early on really taking over the game at these points, and I was really impressed really with Octane this entire series. He put on an absolute clinic here against OpTic Chicago. So yeah, the delay comes through. I thought maybe it would hurt Seattle's confidence, and I'm pretty sure Joe was thinking maybe the same, right? The fact that you come back in here and OpTic have a little bit of time to breathe, but then it comes right back in with a game, a round like this at the very least, right? With Octane getting this kill, almost hops off the map. I can't believe he didn't hop off there right there. He manages to stay alive somehow, flies around the corner and gets Gunless's trade, I believe, right here onto Dashy. So remarkable play from Octane. That was such a big one, right? Because if Dashy wins that 1 versus 2, or if Octane falls off the map or something like that, he almost did. I can't believe he actually didn't fall off that, to be honest. If something like that had transpired, then we could have been looking at a very different game 5 right here. However, down to the wire, it also goes out. I mean, this was a crazy round. round as well. 2 versus 4. I mean, it wasn't actually a 2v4, but it was 2 versus 2 right to the end of it. It felt like Seattle really shouldn't have lost this one. Octane loses a gunfight up top, and I mean, Scump takes down the final kill as well. Scump had a great series as well, to be honest, in terms of some of the kills he was getting in situations. Also wanted to shout out Classic, who had a phenomenal map 4 for Seattle Surge on that checkmate, despite, of course, going on to lose that individual map. But yeah, as you can see right here, OpTic are doing a decent job. They will bring it back to 3-2, but then in the end, it goes the way of the Seattle Surge. A few crucial rounds, a few over challenges, I think, for the OpTic guys. Situations where they peek out and they can't get traded. That's something which has been punished as of late for a lot of the top teams. Losing to Seattle, though, not pretty for OpTic by any means. And despite a near 2 versus 4 from the OpTic guys in their very final round, you can see that, well, classic post from the OpTic guys in a tough spot right here. And really, this does put them in a difficult spot, right? Because coming here against Seattle, I'm sure they felt this would be a relatively easy series victory, right? They probably come in here thinking, yeah, okay, we'll take care of Seattle, no problem at all. We'll get through the series. We'll qualify ourselves for the winners bracket, just as Toronto Ultra did a few minutes ago that we did look at. However, losing to this puts them in a very precarious position indeed. As Scump says right here, they're now 2-2 in their groups. They play Thieves on Sunday. FaZe are like guaranteed #1 seed. Minnesota Rokkr are there or thereabouts as well. Who knows what's going to happen with them? They might still find themselves in a tough spot. We could have some crazy situation going on right here, to be honest. I mean, still, Seattle Surge, they're 1-3. If they can somehow win their other series that they have this week, I think they actually play against the Paris Legion, right? So certainly they could actually get to 2-3 and hold the tiebreaker over OpTic. That'd be a crazy situation. So look, if OpTic come out and beat Thieves on Sunday, then they're 3-2. But think about it, right? The Thieves matchup is very interesting indeed. Formal versus Slasher. That's always a fun one for the timeline. So look, I don't really know what's going to happen in the coming days, but this was a series that OpTic really have to come out and win if they want to, guarantee themselves to get to winners bracket at the major. Now they put a lot more pressure on themselves. Fair play to Seattle, played a great series, but if you're OpTic right now, you really have to have a, serious think about how exactly this happened, because the real top teams don't tend to lose series in this fashion. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.